Patrice Talon, you are lucky.
God have mercy upon us.
Patrice Talon, you are lucky. Next time. Next time. Thank your God. Oh. Right, so let's talk about the coup d'etat which happened in Benin. Those of you who said there was no coup d'etat, there was coup d'etat. It was not attempted coup d'etat. The people actually succeeded. But greed brought division among the soldiers. You see, you can't say there was no coup d'etat. The people actually forced their way into the presidential palace and took over. They appear on state television and declare that, look, we are taking over the country. But this is what happened. Greed brought division. You know, I spoke about the division in the first video I posted. There is a division. The military is being divided into two. And I said also that it is left for the military to decide whether, since division is now among them, it is left for them to work with their brothers and continue, or the fight to bring back the country to democratic rule. We're going to see them fighting the other group. When that happens, we are going to have two military groups fighting over power or fighting to reinstall the ousted president. What brought the division? Let's get into the entire story. But before that, I want to ask a serious question. Nigeria. Nigeria, you have fighter jets and we are not aware of it. No, like, I want to understand. ECOWAS released two statements actually, but I will read that also to you. Let me ask this question. Nigeria, you have many, fighter jets, and we are not aware of. Even Nigerians don't even know that they have fighter jets like that in Nigeria. That they can use the fighter jet to scare, military coup plotters in Benin. You have fighters you can deploy. Fighter jet you can deploy to Benin to go and scare people who took over the country through military coup to fix their country. You can scare those people, but you can't use the same fighter jet to scare the people who are destroying your country. You cannot deploy these fighter jets to Zamfara forest where terrorists are walking freely and partying every day and day. This is what happened. The military men actually succeeded in taking over the country. They succeeded, and early Sunday, on 7th December, we all the media houses, they publish it. It was successful. If it wasn't successful, you can't see the military coming, seizing the state media, and communicating that they've taken over if the government was still in control. The presidential palace, they took over that place also. Now, the military were not divided when they were carrying out the operation. The division came when they announced the new leader. Then the division hit the ground. Even before the division came, command was given and soldiers were deployed. Military vehicles were deployed across the street and all over the capital city. Just after the man was announced to be the new leader, then command came straightly from the ground that the people who were deployed across the street, they should retreat. Why? They were not divided until the new man was mentioned. He is the leadership, or he is taking over the leadership. The moment he was declared, then division hit the ground. When the people carried out the coup d'etat, the next thing they did was to call for support from the ground, that the people should come out in their numbers to support them. Just as Burkina Faso did it. Burkina Faso, when they did the coup d'etat, they called for support immediately. Before ECOWAS and African Union could even realize that they are going there, no. People are already on the streets showing support loudly to the military. So it became difficult to thwart the coup d'etat. Just before the people get on the street, because some of them actually get on the street, they were happy, and you can even see this the video on your screen. Some of them were very happy and they were shouting Patrice Talon en bas.
Abba Talon. Ce soir vous soutenez. Nous allons marcher ce soir pour vous soutenir. Abba Talon. Ce soir.
Patrice Talon en bas. They were shouting that Patrice Talon should go down. Just before more people hit the street, the separatist group who are not in agreement for whatsoever reason, they are calling them loyalists. They reaffirm loyalty to the ousted government, that they are going to fight to bring back, the country to order. So the banter was on the ground, and these people on the ground were trying to force their way in and take over from those who are already there. If it were to be a thing that the people hit the street massively like Burkina Faso, there wouldn't be a chance to thwart the coup d'etat, because the people actually succeeded, left with the people on the ground, the civilians, to come and support them, and some actually went out. But just before the number could increase, these people succeeded in taking over from those who took over. One of the things that happened is that just after the coup d'etat, media houses confirmed that fighter jets were deployed by Nigeria, and these jets were flying over the airspace of Benin. Meanwhile, the soldiers on the ground who took over, they declared that they don't want to see any air support flying over their airspace. And the man who took over actually sent warning to Emmanuel Macron. He said Emmanuel Macron should not, he spoke French, so he said Emmanuel Macron should not, or France should not intervene or interfere in their internal affair. They should stay away and then call for the people to come and support. Just after the people will come and support, you see jet flying all over. If it's you, will you come out? No, you will not come out. The jets were flying over and it belonged to Nigeria. Now, in the middle of these jets flying all over the airspace of Benin, ECOWAS was threatening at the same time to send the standby forces. They released 2 statements. Let me read that statement before we even move forward. Before ECOWAS released the first statement, report mentioned that 13 or 14 soldiers were actually arrested and detained. Some of them were running. And among those soldiers were those who planned the coup d'etat and those who carry out the operation. And some of them are actually on the run right now. In the middle of that, then ECOWAS released their first statement. It says, ECOWAS Commission has received with consternation report of an attempted military takeover in the Republic of Benin. ECOWAS strongly condemns this unconstitutional move that represents a subversion of the will of the people of Benin. ECOWAS call for the full respect of the Constitution of Benin and salute the efforts of the government and the Republican Army in bringing the situation under control. ECOWAS holds the leaders of the plot both individually and collectively responsible for any loss to life and property associated to their action. ECOWAS will support the government and the people in all form necessary, including the deployment of the regional standby force to defend the constitution and the territorial integrity of Benin. Then after this one, the second one was released. It says, the chair of ECOWAS authority of head of state and government has ordered the deployment of element of the ECOWAS standby force to the Republic of Benin with immediate effect. The regional force shall be made up of troops from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Republic of Sierra Leone, Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, and Republic of Ghana. The force shall support the government and the Republican Army of Benin to preserve constitutional order and the territorial integrity of the Benin people. So it wasn't only, Nigeria, okay? After the jet were flying all over, that the jet that is reported that is from Nigeria. It's for Nigeria and from Nigeria. But the standby force which were sent later, just after they successfully, reversed the coup d'etat, constitute of, you have Ghana playing a part, Sierra Leone playing a part, Nigeria playing a part, Ivory Coast playing a part. Yes, they all joined their forces together and sent to Benin to make sure that things are in order. Also, people are afraid. So it is certain that the coup actually succeeded, but was later reversed. You can't tell us that it wasn't successful. You can't tell us that. It was. If it wasn't, the people will not hit the media space. They will not seize the presidential palace. How do you do coup? If you want to do coup d'etat, you go in and force your way into the presidential palace. And one of the mistakes they also did is that they're supposed to arrest all the politicians first. They are supposed to arrest all the politicians and detain all of them. So some of them were doing things underground, negotiating and calling for support and all that. But one thing that I fail to understand is that although they were able to reverse the coup d'etat, the way these people responded collectively to the coup d'etat in Benin, if they can respond collectively to what is happening in Nigeria, where we are seeing Nigeria falling right in front of us, You have fighter jets in Nigeria that you can deploy. They are working. We thought they were not working. And we have terrorists in forest. You know where their camps are. You, the government officials, you went there to go and visit them when they kidnap people. Shegumi said it. Shegumi said you people follow him to go and see where they are in the forest. You can't use your fighter jet to drop biscuit on them. We thought it is just because Nigeria is not able. It means that Nigeria refused to fight what is going on in Nigeria. Because if you have fighter jet you can deploy like that and scare people all over, then Nigerians, you're on your own. Your government have decided not to fight for you. They know the right thing to do, because you can't have fighter jet and terrorists will be roaming around in your forest, kidnapping people. You people, your army standby force is only active when there is coup d'etat. The standby force is never active when people are dying in the name of democracy, when terrorists are terrorizing people under the democratic governance. No, your standby force is not active. When hundreds of children were kidnapped in Nigeria, the standby force is nowhere to be found. When churches are being burnt in Nigeria, ECOWAS did not talk about standby force to go and help Nigeria cure the disease of insecurity. That one is not there. But when there is coup d'etat, you are talking about standby force, standby force. It means you have a force that can perform, but you can't use it to cure the insecurity in your country. It is sad. It is pathetic. Anyway, let me put that aside. Patrice Talon, you are lucky. Patrice Talon, you are lucky. Next time. Next time. Thank your God. Oh. I said, thank your God. You see how people came? The people are beginning to mount up on the street, and the Nigerian fighter jet came around and scared them. They're not able to come out in their numbers. Thank your God. Yes. That is just a warning to you. Thank your God. And the coup protest to, I don't know. See, if you want to do the thing, do the thing. Why will you? If you don't know how to do the thing, go and ask Ibrahim Traore. Once you are done, you have to pack the politicians and seize them. That is how they do it. You allow them to be moving around and they are calling support and then negotiating and doing things underground you. When they came back, and now look at where you are. You have been arrested. You are done, man. But Patrice Talon, thank your God.